Okay, in our presentation today, we're going to talk about the can do's and won't do's in the virtual world or the virtual workplace. And with these tough economical times, we're finding that virtual offices have become a fact of business life and their popularity continues to grow and grow. We find that more than half the companies in North America now permit employees to work from home, and surveys indicate that the percentage will almost certainly be increasing. So, with this in mind, it is our mission statement as a company to achieve the highest level of efficiency by upholding a standard that is not only profitable but ethical as well. We must create a reputation of honesty and integrity to benefit our stakeholders as well as our customers. Committing ourselves to the highest standards of business ethics is the only way to achieve continued success, not only in the workplace, but the virtual workplace as well. So, with that in mind, the ethical code of conduct has to come into play for not only the workplace itself, but our virtual workplace that we are creating for our employees. And we must find that all employees must comply with the code of conduct. It is imperative that our employees know that there are sets and standards in place to make sure that our company works as a well-oiled machine. A company's success can only grow when its employees are not only honest with others, such as their employers or their coworkers, but they have to be honest with themselves as well. All employees are responsible to report any and all violations that pertain to the ethical code of conduct. Our employees must exemplify honesty, respect, trust, fairness, morality, and dignity. In the virtual workplace, it is very difficult to make sure that all these values are upheld, especially when your employees feel that there's an out of sight, out of mind kind of context. They find that if the employer or their boss is not looking over them, then anything is fair game. Our company's success depends on our employees establishing and maintaining these values, not only within the company, but outside as well. These values must be understood and followed through not only during work hours, but also in the virtual world as well, as we've said before. So with that said, and our ethical code of conduct put into place, what is our objective here? Well, our objective is to achieve the highest return of investment for not only ourselves as a company, but our stakeholders and customers alike. While we're trying to make the biggest return of investment, we need to also uphold the company's ethical standards by maintaining our integrity. So, with this in mind, we are talking about today in this presentation of the can do's and won't do's of the virtual workplace. Now, the virtual workplace that we're talking about today is the program called Second Life. Now, what is Second Life? I just want to touch very briefly upon what Second Life is. Second Life is an online virtual world. With the help of viewers, free client programs, Second Life users, personalized avatars, these avatars can explore the 3D world known as the grid. Users have the option for their avatars to be human, animal, vegetable, mineral, or anything they want while exploring the grid. So, with this brief explanation of what Second Life is, why is it important to us as a company? Well, how can we utilize the virtual world to bring us the largest return on our investment? Because using the virtual world as a platform to conduct interviews, hold meetings, conduct business, meet clients, and work from home, it gives companies an edge over the competition. As said before, it is estimated that at least 10% of the U.S. workforce telecommunicates, and that is 3 times the level at the 2000 level. As we've said before, virtual offices have become a fact of business life, and their popularity continues to grow. And we find out that this trend will continue to accelerate in response to ongoing globalization, customer demands, and cost of office space and commuting. So, how can we use the virtual workplace to benefit us as a company? Well, there's multiple things that the virtual workplace allows for us to do as a company to not only grow our customer base, but also our employee base. First off, the virtual workplace saves time. How many times have we been caught up driving to and from home to work every day and stuck in traffic, whether it's from New Britain to Hartford, Stanford to New York City, Brookline to Boston. All of these places, it always comes into a fact that our employees are always sometimes showing up late, whether it's 10 minutes or 5 minutes. That is valuable time that those employees could be getting to work, setting themselves up, and getting for the work day. Virtual workplaces cut that time out completely because the employee now can work from home and choose to when they want to work. It allows the employee to get good time management. With that said, that time saving from not having to commute to work, it increases flexibility. Now, it increases flexibility because we also find that our employees sometimes will have problems with their kids in the morning, and we understand that situations arise, and it really affects the person's work style, or just how they get to work and when they get to work and how they use their work time. We understand that our employees have personal lives, and the virtual world allows these employees of ours to be flexible, to work from home, and to just get on the computer and go from what they need to do. So with that flexibility comes increased employee productivity. We find that with virtual worlds, our employees are more inclined to get on the computer and meet with their customers. We find that more work time coverage because of deferring individual work preferences. Some people like to work late at night, and some like to work early in the morning. These virtual worlds allow this flexibility, which then allows for our increased productivity because it gives our employees the option of when they can work. Yes, granted, they are working still their 8-hour work week, but they still are getting their work done. And what does the virtual world do for us as a company? Not only does it benefit our employees, but what can it do for us as employers? Well, now with these virtual worlds, we can pick from increased talent pools. As employers, we are not set in stone with our geographical locations. We can pick from far out, whether it's if we're working from the West Coast, we can pick people from the East Coast now, and we can draw from a larger talent pool. And these benefits can also translate into increased retention of employees because now we have, instead of driving to work and getting upset with that kind of thing, we're allowing our employees the opportunity to work from home, to get more time with their families, but also find the time to work and get the work done to be productive for our company. For this, we need to find a well-balanced approach, not only to stay within ethical boundaries, but also try to achieve a high level of return of investment. So now with that said, that we found what the benefits were of using the virtual world in the workplace, we have to think about the other side of the coin. What are the negative effects and the other sides of the story that are going to come in that could be a little confrontational when working in the workplace or working in the virtual workplace? And now we find that there are multiple ethical issues that we have to address, and this is the reason why we have our ethical code of conduct. We find that the division of employee and employer creates major questions related to productivity. So not only do we have a high level of productivity, and can we achieve that high productivity, but how do we do that? And we find that one of the major ethical issues in the workplace is employee honesty. A lot of employees are having a tough time understanding that, okay, you are working from home and that the boss is not right over your head or watching over every little thing that you do now because you're out of sight, out of mind. How do we get our employees to be honest with us, to tell us, okay, this is where we are in our work time, this is what we've done today, this is how far we've progressed talking with our clients or meeting with clients in the virtual workplace, or getting to the meetings that we need to get to. How do we do that? This is an ethical issue that keeps on being brought up multiple times throughout the readings, is that a lot of our employees are having a very difficult time with staying honest. So, this honesty can be broken into two groups. As we said, the quality of the product and the honesty in the employer-employee relationship. How is our employee, or how are our employees being honest with us? How do we get our employees to talk to us and tell us where they are and not be dishonest? We find that there are major ethical questions to be asked about the concept of dishonesty in the employee-employee relationship. Digital workplaces are a premium place that we need to have constant communication between the employee and the employer. And if the employees are dishonest about the progress of a project, the quality of the research, or any other aspect of the final product, the employee will ultimately suffer. This creates less of a market incentive for companies to pursue these virtual employees, and it runs the risk of tainting virtual commuting as refuge of clever sleight of hand artists. So what happens is that now with this other question is the proper division of labor among members in the virtual group. If we have a dishonest employee, how do we know who's picking up the slack, or if that person is not doing what they need to do in a group workplace? So with that said, we also have other ethical issues. So in meetings, or when it has to deal with the workplace, when is it appropriate to stay anonymous on the internet, especially in these virtual worlds such as Second Life, where you don't need to give your information? Well, as our ethical code of conduct, we feel that it is appropriate to only stay anonymous when it doesn't have to deal with work. As a working environment, we set the rules and regulations for our employees that, okay, you work for us. This is a company that is looking for its highest return of investments. Not only do we want to do that, but we want to protect our employees, but we also feel that it is not ethically correct to stay anonymous on the internet. We want our customers to feel a personal level, that they're not being swindled by people that they cannot trust by not knowing their name, or such as being a stranger. So then that's our next question is, what situations value a reason to maintain a stranger relationship? Or when should you identify yourself? Well, we feel that in our company that you should identify yourself immediately. This is the workplace. This is not your personal time. This is us as a company trying to have the largest return on investments. We feel that on a personal level and from an ethical standpoint, that we must identify ourselves. We need to be upfront. We need to be honest. We need to be trustworthy. And we need to set a standard of integrity to let our customers feel comfortable in the situation of working in the virtual workplace, because there are a lot of people out there that are going to try to take advantage of people that really have not used this certain kind of workplace before. And with that, what conflicts can arise in a work situation? And that's what we were just talking about, is that, if we're not ethical, we're not honest with not only our employers, our employees, or more importantly, our customers, because that's where we get our largest return on investment, is being upfront with our customers, being honest with them, staying trustworthy with them, maintaining that personal level instead of staying anonymous and them not really knowing you as a person, such as when you go to a customer and you talk to them face to face, they get to see you, they get to see your mannerisms. We want to try to bring those kind of values into the virtual workplace, so we can stay away from the conflicts of being shady dealings, or being strangers, or really putting our customers and our employees in a really, really uncomfortable situation. And we find that it's not okay to stay anonymous. Pseudonyms, okay, that's all right, but you need to identify yourself in the workplace. Pseudonyms cannot be offensive or discriminate against anybody. We want to be very ethical in our ways, we want to take the workplace and put it into the virtual workplace. We want those two to really coincide and mesh with each other and really have zero gray area with that. So, with that said, we want to take all those values, the honesty, the trustworthiness, the faithfulness, the morality issues. We want that to really coincide into a winning attitude. And with all these ethical issues looming over our heads, how as managers and employees of this company can we truly capture the gains promised by the virtual work offices? You know, the increased productivity, this time saving, the flexibility, the employee retention. How can we keep that? And we need to set rules and regulations in place for not only us as a company, but our employees as well to follow, so that we can really get the highest rate of return. So with our first rule, we want an excellent electronic communication. We need to stay in communication with our employees all the time, whether it's voicemail, email, conference calls, faxes, live phone calls, virtual meetings in the workplace, going into Second Life, and having set times each day for only 10 to 15 minutes to see where our employees are in their progress of work, so that we can maintain that honesty, that level of honesty and trustworthiness. Electronic communications tools used in the world are useless if you don't return these calls or answer the pages or get to these meetings. So we need that excellent electronic communication. And managers cannot allow their employees to develop the out of sight, out of mind attitude where, in the regular workplace, the managers are always around, so the employee feels that their boss is watching over them, and there's someone there to regulate what's going on, whether it's not dealing with, time spent at the water cooler too much. Now we need our managers to really, really excel in that excellent electronic communication. Planning and scheduling. We need our managers to plan and schedule. We need an employee in the group that we trust the most to take that group that they have in the virtual world and kind of really push towards having set times and set schedules and when things need to be done. We need accountability, and that comes with the planning and scheduling. We need to find, since we can draw from such a large talent pool, we need to find employees that are extremely accountable. And we need that discipline and that mindset that you are working from home and not at home. So what that means is that you are working your home is now the workplace. Your virtual world is the workplace now. You're not just at home. You're not there to have a good time. You're there to work. We are, as employee, as a company, are allowing you to really to have that time with your family now. But you also need to realize that this is work. If you have an office at home, use it as a high-performance workplace or to support your activities elsewhere. Get it set up so it's efficient, and to work out the rules and roles with others at home, so you can set in stone when you are at work, that 8 hours of work. We need to build group relationships so you don't feel that you are isolated. This concept of all work and no play just isn't enough. We have one downside having less time together in the office, and it's a lack of opportunity for the important social contacts that are essential to team building. And it kind of could feel that if you're working at home, you're isolated, you're not part of the group. We need to have group relationships in the virtual workplace where it's kind of outside of work, but you're still in the virtual workplace. You can go to these places in the virtual world and meet with your coworkers and converse with them and really get to know them on a personal level, instead of feeling oh well, I'm at home, that's just me now, I'm feeling isolated from the group. No, it's not like that anymore. We want to build that same model that goes within the office, in the office itself. So with all that said, and all the ethical issues of should we stay anonymous on the internet? And we need rules and regulations. We need to stick to we need to stick steadfast to them. Um, and with everything that we said, what are we trying to achieve? Well, we need to stay efficient, effective. We need the highest rate of return. And what we're seeing now, since a lot of companies are shifting into the virtual workplace, are these goals attainable? Can we stay ethical? Can we have the highest rate of return for our stakeholders and our customers? And yes, we can. We can do this by staying steadfast to our ethical code of conduct. We can by maintaining honesty, respect, trust, fairness, morality, and dignity. We can really take advantage of the opportunities that the virtual workplace allows us as a company to really achieve. By upholding these values, we as a company not only stay within our ethical boundaries, but we will grow as a business, not only for ourselves, but as we said before, for our stakeholders, for our customers. And with this said, with staying within our values of our ethical codes of standards, of being honest, having respect for each other, staying trustworthy to our employee-employee relationship, we maintain a high quality of customer